Good morning. Welcome to the First Religious Society, Unitarian Universalist in Newburyport, Massachusetts. My name is Stephen Wolf Foster. I am your worship associate this morning. I'm delighted to welcome you to our church. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We are glad you are here. We come together at FRS online and in person, committed to love, peace, and justice. Our mission and our invitation to you all is to come as you are, journey together in love, act with courage, and transform our world. If you're worshiping online and would like to access this morning's order of service, please click on the link just below the live stream. I would like to draw your attention to the many activities and events happening here at the church, including a few that Reverend Rebecca and I will highlight.
Hi everyone. It is so good to see you and be together. This is an unusual morning in many reasons, as always. First of all, because it is the one and only of this day. And let us always remember that. This day will never come again. We also have an inordinate number of announcements, so I'm breaking my own rules. We'll do this today only. I wanted to start by bringing us up to date on how close we are to reaching our annual campaign goal. It is remarkable, and we are so close, and every dollar matters. We have had some generous members and friends step forward and offer a 2-for-1 match. We still have some dollars remaining in that, so if you're a friend, a member, a supporter, if you haven't yet made a commitment, or if you're willing to increase your commitment even a little bit, we are at 95% of our goal. Speaking from someone who works closely with the board, it might sound as though that 5%, what's the difference? It is the most painful difference that there is. Because when we sit in that boardroom and we have to decide what doesn't get funded, it is a painful experience. So please, any gift you can offer is greatly appreciated. And I also want to take a moment and thank our campaign co-chairs, Mary McDonald and Jim Supple, who are here with us this morning for all their time. Because, for those of us who are here at the first sermon, because what is this? This is our church. This is our church. We're also one week or a little less away from the auction, which is a tremendous amount of fun. Friday, May 5th. Please get your tickets if you haven't yet. It truly is a very fun evening. And you'll get an email this afternoon that lists the items that are going to be there, and just hopefully will let you enjoy it and look forward to it, as I know that I do. 2 other quick things I'll say. We have sent out an email with a worship survey, and I really ask, if you have not yet taken a few minutes to complete that you do. We have about 60 responses. It's giving us very important direction about both the themes for next year, the monthly themes, the balance. At the moment, you're going to hear from me more often, so if you don't want that, fill out that survey. If you do want that, fill out that survey. We're taking it seriously, what you say, so please. I think it's in the order of service. If not, it's certainly in the steeple from this week. Lastly, next Sunday is our New Member Sunday. It is a beautiful time, twice a year, where we welcome our newest members and recommit to our own connection, commitment, covenant, and faith with this congregation. So please join us and be here, and if you're considering membership, we'd love to have you with us.
Wait, there's more. We also hope that everyone will join us after the service, both to speak further with our guests from the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, who will be speaking a little bit later during service. While you are there, please buy some baked goods. Support our youth trip and take a minute to complete the anti-racism survey, which members of our anti-racism team offered you as you entered the vestibule. Thank you, and it's good to be together.
Our call to worship this morning are the words of former Rhode Island Poet Laureate Lisa Starr. Listen, listen, dear one, it whispers. You only think you have forgotten the impossible. Go now to that marsh beyond Fresh Pond and consider how the red burgeons into crimson. Go see how it has been preparing forever for today. You are faithfully called to worship.
Please join me as we say the words of our chalice lighting. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together.
Each week, we also light 2 candles of peace, representing 2 places on earth we lift up and remember as a sacred encounter with our world. We know that there are untold numbers of places on earth that need peace. These 2 we hold in our minds and our hearts through this service and the week ahead. After each candle is lit, I invite you to respond by saying peace, Sol, Shalom. Our first candle this morning is lit for the Harvard University campus in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where in 1982, Audre Lorde delivered the address entitled Learning from the 60s, in which she reminded us that there is no such thing as a single-issue struggle, because we do not live single-issue lives. On this Lesbian Visibility Week, we honor her voice and voices of lesbians throughout time. And to this we respond, peace, Sol, Shalom. Our second candle this morning is lit for Hyde Park in Boston, where just over a week ago, 21-year-old Joshua Milton and 23-year-old Renelle Miller lost their lives to gunfire. We remember Joshua, Riel, and all those who have lost their lives to gun violence. To this we respond, peace, Sol, Shalom. Please rise in body or in spirit. Let's join in our opening hymn, number 131, Love Will Guide Us. please remain standing as we join our voices in the affirmation of faith, followed by the doxology. The words can be found in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. Be seated. And at this time, I'd like to invite forward all of our children and youth for a story that Mara is going to share.
You haven't been up here in a while, I bet. Where's Annie? Oh, Annie, do you want to come hold my microphone? I need more hands. Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm going to share a beautiful book with you today. It's called We Are Water Protectors. It's written by Carol Lindstrom of the Turtle Mountain Band Ojibwe. And this story is inspired by the many indigenous-led movements across North America. Water is the first medicine Nokomis told me. Nokomis means grandmother. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body, as it nourishes us here on Mother Earth. Water is sacred, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythm runs through my veins, runs through my people's veins. My people talk of a black snake that will destroy the land, spoil the water, poison plants and animals, wreck everything in its path. When my people first spoke of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. Now the black snake is here. Its venom burns the land, courses through the water, making it unfit to drink. What does that black snake look like? It looks like a pipe. Take courage. I must keep the black snake away from my village's water. I must rally my people together. To stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones, the crawling ones. The four-legged, the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, and lakes, the earth, we are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, tracks down my face, tracks down my people's faces. Water has its own spirit, Nokomis told me. Water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, she said. We are the stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. We are water projectors. We stand. The black snake is in for the fight of its life. And now, please join us in singing hymn number 413, Go Now in Peace, and the youth and children will join us down in Young Church.
We are honored to be joined this morning by two important contributors to the healing work of the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, a center of healing, teaching, and learning for families and communities impacted by murder, trauma, grief, and loss. Alexandra Cherry Dolores is the co-executive director of the Peace Institute and sister of Louis D. Brown. And Pace McConkey Jr. is the Peace Institute's policy and advocacy coordinator. Their work advances the vision of the Institute to create and sustain an environment where all families can live in peace and to transform society's response to homicide. We welcome them to our FRS community as we look forward to again participating in the Mother's Day Walk for Peace, which happens in Dorchester on Sunday, May 14th. It is the 27th year that this has happened, and we believe the 5th year that the congregation has had a team that has walked there. It is a tradition of Boston, and it is a celebration of our potential to join together in unity to create more peaceful communities. I will share that I first walked in that walk when I was serving the congregation in Brookline some 7 years ago, and I am absolutely delighted to be able to join our team this year on May 14th, walking in that walk. My kids and I walked together with me then, and we have a family wedding that weekend, and I asked them, would it be okay if I just snuck out Sunday morning to go to the walk? And they said, of course, and my kids are coming with me, and my son said, isn't that church? And we'll hear now from our guests.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pace McConkey, and I work for the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, which is a center of healing, teaching, and learning for families and communities impacted by murder, trauma, grief, and loss. And what that means is when pain is born all across the Commonwealth, when violence and loss happens, the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute is here to hold families, to aid them, and walk with them through a lifelong healing journey, and a journey towards justice and peace. Our commitment is to fostering peace all across the Commonwealth as a value, and celebrate all principles of peace. And everything we do at the Lewis D. Brown Peace Institute is grounded in 7 principles of peace, which are love, hope, faith, unity, courage, justice, and forgiveness. And on this beautiful rainy morning, I would love to check in and uplift the principles of unity, justice, and hope. Every year, the Lewis D. Brown Peace Institute holds a Mother's Day Walk for Peace, which is a community gathering for those all across the Commonwealth that want to join us in that hope that peace is indeed possible. It's a celebration. And it is also the largest fundraising event for the Lewis D. Brown Peace Institute every year. So we invite you to join us and walk with us and celebrate with us and foster peace with us, and to raise funds to meet the needs of survivors of homicide victims statewide. And with that introduction, I wanted to pass the mic over to my colleague, Alexandra.
Thanks, Pace. We're so high up here. Thanks for opening us up, Pace. Our theme this year for the Walk for Peace is cultivating cycles of peace. And one of the ways we do that is, in the way that Pace just opened us up with those 7 principles of peace. And so I'm going to say them again, and then I'm just going to invite you all, I don't know if we're allowed to do this, but to just shout out if there's a principle of peace that's on your heart that you want to uplift today. So again, love, unity. As you hear them, if they call to you, just say them back. Faith, hope, courage, justice, forgiveness, all of them. Thank you. And so that's one way that we cultivate cycles of peace, is to really look at ourselves internally and to identify what is our role in peacemaking, and understanding that peace starts with us. And other ways are really, really practical ways. Peace is expensive, okay? Peace costs money. And you all at First Religious Society have been doing amazing over the last 5 years, and I just want to give you a glimpse of the work that you've been doing just for the last 3 years. In 2021, you all set a fundraising goal of $1,500. Did you pass that goal? Yeah? Yeah, you guys raised $2,266. In 2022, you set $1,500 again. How'd you do? Did you do better? You raised a total of $2,395. The best person to compete with is the person we were yesterday. So this year, you set a goal of $2,500. And right now, as of Friday, you all were at $1,710. So you've got time and you can do it, because you set the goals and you've surpassed them for 2 years so far. You're donating, but what are you donating to, right? We have 2 very practical places that the funds raised go to. They are our Rest in Peace Fund and our Live in Peace funds. And our Rest in Peace ensures that families who are experiencing the homicide of a loved one are able to bury their loved one with dignity and compassion. Oftentimes what happens is, because of the narrative surrounding that person's murder, resources may shut down for that family. And families of homicide victims are not prepared to deal with the expenses that come with that type of loss. And so the Rest in Peace Fund makes sure that no family has to struggle looking for money in order to bury their loved ones, because everybody deserves that right. And then our Live in Peace funds are just that. They offer an opportunity for families' practical needs to be met so that they can truly live in peace. After the funeral, life continues. People go away, it gets quiet, but utility bills pile up. Maybe folks need to relocate because of safety reasons, and the Live in Peace Fund allows for those emergency costs to be covered so that families, again, do not have to suffer and do not have to in addition to dealing with the grief and the loss, have to worry about their practical needs being met. And so that is really where you all come in, and that is what we are here to do, is to be here to support you to raise those funds, but then to also help you identify why is this something that is important to you all. And as you're thinking about why is this important to me, continue to reflect back on those principles of peace that you shouted out, and really hold that as your internal why. Thank you.
So the generosity of our community is an essential ministry. It supports the work of our church, both in Newburyport and beyond. Each week, 50% of the Sunday offering not designated as a pledge goes to a local community partner engaged in important efforts to transform our region. Half the collection today will support the valuable work of the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. In order to give online, please use the link in your order of service or below the live stream. You can also make a contribution by text, and of course, you can always mail a check to the church as well. Thank you, and the offering will now be gratefully accepted.
time in our service where we lift up the joys and the sorrows of our beloved faith community. This morning, Tom Himmel, our pastoral care associate, will light the candles as I share what has been sent to me in advance or written in the journal in the vestibule. We light a candle of concern and care. Eliza Goodall asks that we hold her brother Peter in our thoughts and prayers. Peter sustained injuries in a biking accident earlier this month, and we wish him a full and entire recovery. We light a candle of care and concern for Robert Littlefield, the organist that has been here in the past, and also longtime music director of the Beverly UU congregation, who is in critical care at this point in the hospital. We light a couple of candles of celebration. First, for our sister congregation in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, who will be holding their installation service this afternoon. I'll be participating in that, and they'll be welcoming their co-ministry officially into the congregation. We also light a candle of joy and celebration as someone asks that we honor and celebrate the 14-year sobriety anniversary that their daughter will be experiencing this week. And we light, as we do each week, one final candle for all of the sorrows and all of the joys that, although unspoken, are held in just as much love and care. Our pastoral prayer this morning is a poem. I invite you into a time of quiet, centering, meditation, prayer. As we listen to Mary Oliver's poem entitled In Black Water Woods, with a modified ending. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light and giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the pond. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads me back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it. And when the time comes, to let it or them go, to carry on their memory that remains forever emblazoned on your heart, that tells you what life is worth living for every morning upon awakening. Amen.
And now a reading At Blackwater Pond by Mary Oliver. At Blackwater Pond, the tossed waters have settled after a night of rain. I dip my cupped hands. I drink a long time. It tastes like stone, leaves, fire. It falls cold into my body, waking the bones. I hear them inside me whispering, "Oh, what is this beautiful thing that just happened?"
We are the water and the waves. We are made of water, sustained by water, and surrounded by water. I think it not a coincidence that, though this has not been researched that I'm aware of, my own personal experience is that there is no more frequent place that people scatter the ashes of their loved ones than upon the water. Waters that meant a lot to that person, to the family. Just within our own congregation, I know there are waters of the sea for those who served in the military. There are waters in Vermont. There are waters in Maine. There are waters in Connecticut. There are waters in Massachusetts. We are the water in the waves. Next year's worship theme as an annual theme will be interconnectedness, and in fact, what better concept to see that in than water? We are the water in the waves. We are interconnected. Our lives are interconnected. We are never truly alone. We also couldn't spend a year contemplating the theme of peace without bringing water into it. And you'll hear a little more about that as I share my remarks. I spent the week before last, but depends, anyway. I spent a week very recently up in Provincetown or on Cape Cod, in Orleans and Provincetown, and a big and important part of why I did that was to go to Blackwater Pond, which is the cover of your order of service. I first met Mary Oliver by her words, never in person, though I feel as though I know her as well as that, many decades ago when I was in my very early 20s. And I picked up the first book of poetry, which is early, and I just felt like, just like she wrote about in this most recent reading, what is that beautiful thing that just happened to my heart? Who put words to what I know to be true? What is this thirst I didn't even know I had for something called poetry? She accompanied me through decades and still does. Her passing felt like a part of me died too. So going there, Cape Cod is a sacred place for me. I've spent summers there since I was 9. My family is deeply involved in the communities there. But going there this time, since Mary Oliver's death in 2019, I needed to go to Blackwater Pond. I needed to walk her woods and look at that water because I needed her close to me. And what do you know, but of course, who also was there? Yes, my dog, but she was in the car. But what you might not know is that each and every one of you were also there. The whole time I walked the perimeter of the pond and I stopped and took another picture and I looked at the water, all I could think is, I want to bring them with me. Them is you. So actually, I will do that next spring. We're going to have an outing. We're going to have a retreat, if you will, for people who are interested in poetry, interested in Mary Oliver, interested in sacred pilgrimages, even to Cape Cod. Jacques Cousteau said, "People protect what they love." People protect what they love. That's the premise of my sermon this morning, that we must care for the earth and for the water and, of course, for each other. And in order to do so, we must have a relationship with those things. Each other, the earth, water. What is your relationship with water? I invite you to connect with or reconnect with that relationship now. Dr. Wallace J. Nichols said, "One of the many possible ways to describe a life would be as a series of encounters with various bodies of water." So what do you think of when I say water? Close or soften your eyes for a moment and bring to your mind a body of water you care deeply about. It may be an ocean, a river, or a lake. It may be rainwater in the form of puddles, droplets on an umbrella, pattering on a roof. This water may be but a stone's throw from where we are seated, maybe in another state or across the globe. You may have been there once or many times. What does the water feel like? Is it cool? Is the water still, or is it moving? Are you there with someone? Or are you alone with water? Are you the age you are today, or are you much younger? Or both? When and how did you first come to know this water? Water has been considered holy by religious traditions across the ages. Think only of holy water walking into a Catholic church, the Dead Sea, baptism, the Ganges River, and I could go on. Water has been used for blessings and rituals, including, even in the Unitarian Universalist tradition, water communion. It has been used to cleanse since time immemorial. As I said, I know of no place more frequently mentioned for where people choose to scatter the ashes of their loved ones than water. My holy waters include Blackwater Pond, as I've been sharing. More recently, the marsh and the vernal pools near my home that change in their size and depth day in and day out. My holy water is my own memory of the water splashed by my children in their evening baths. Water has been our ministry theme this month, and we started the month hearing from FRS member Brent Mitchell, who shared his extensive experience with water, in addition to regaling us with images, or at least me, of a baptismal water tank. I looked back at the sermon that was in the church of his youth. I haven't been able to get that out of my mind. There's just something about a baptismal tank. Also, disclosing his bias that the use of water and wine is one of its most important purposes. Brent taught us also about some and only a few of the many devastating changes in the world's waterways, and their rapid disappearance due to human intervention and use. He also shared with us about the United Nations goal. It is the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which is to ensure access to water and sanitation for all people, and reminded us that 26% of the world's population, 2 billion people approximately, don't have access to safe drinking water. But I know that 26% of the world's population and 2 billion people are really big numbers and percentages, but I invite us to look around this congregation, this sanctuary, and imagine, if you will, that, well, I don't know, everyone from Rebecca over doesn't have access to safe water now, today. Real people, real bodies, real stories, real lives. And this scarcity is expected, or sadly likely, to continue and worsen. Especially true at this time for poor and marginalized communities, though we know that within not too long of time, it will affect us all, regardless of economic status, geographic location. Yes, even here. And many of you know that right now, due to some of the changes that are happening. However, in addition to the reliance on water for survival that we all share, water has amazing psychological benefits. I want to share a few of them because it's really fascinating, the research and the neuroscience that has been done to actually document the importance of water on our state of mind and on our stress. We are less stressed when we are connected to water. It's true, and this is all documented with research, it's true whether we're looking at water, listening to water, even imagining water, much less actually being in it or having it touch our skin. Marine biologist and activist and author Dr. Wallace Nichols coined the phrase blue mind for this human-water connection. And it applies even for the many, and I know, who have fear of water. We can imagine it. We can listen. We can be near the color blue, and it will documentally reduce our stress. Blue mind is, and I'll quote this, his definition is, a meditative state characterized by calm, peacefulness, unity, a sense of general happiness and satisfaction with life in that moment. It happens when our most complex organ, which is the brain, meets the world's most prevalent feature, which is water. It has been demonstrated that blue mind and its increased state of calm and equanimity isn't just for when we are with the water, but it influences how we feel and act everywhere. Similar to other things we do to our body. If we exercise, we know the benefits of the hormones and the changes in our body are not just in that moment, but it continues. There are two other states of brain mind, which are red mind and gray mind, which are quite different than blue mind. Red mind is described as, quote, edgy, high, stressed, anxious, fearful, often even a little bit of anger or despair. Gray mind is described as numbed out, depression, sometimes with jitters. Yogic philosophy connects gray mind with extensive screen time. They call it cold depression. Many of us enjoy water in one or many ways. It is proven, as I've just shared, to reduce stress, promote well-being, and physical health. Here's the thing. There's a lot that pulls on our time, our energy, our thoughts, our resources, right? It is essential that we protect the earth and her water. It is essential that we do whatever we can to ensure that all people have access to safe drinking water. Coming back to what I shared at the beginning of the reflection, what I believe is going to make us do that is to remember our relationship with water. So again, think of that sacred water for you, the bodies or forms of water that make you experience transcendence, peace, gratitude. I invite us and encourage us to make room for those connections, to visit them often in our bodies and our minds. Make your screensaver an image of water. Stand and listen to the rain today as it falls. Make a pilgrimage to your sacred waters and spend intentional time there. Join us next spring on our own pilgrimage to Blackwater Pond. It will renew you for what lies ahead this day, this month, and these times. It will help you connect and access resources within yourself that we can lose connection to. I want to close with an actual small ritual that was also developed from the same project around Blue Mind entitled the Blue Marble Project. It was inspired by a photo of the Earth, which is on the back of your order of service, taken by Apollo 17 crew in 1972 called Blue Marble. This was the first full photo of the Earth, the only one ever taken by a person. It is said to be the most reproduced image of all time. I invite you to take the marble that hopefully you took when you entered the sanctuary, and if you haven't and you raise your hand, I know ushers can bring you one, but take that marble, and again, this is something that has been done and is continuing to be done throughout, or across the globe, I should say. We know that what I'm about to offer you and invite you to do has been done by the Dalai Lama. It has been done by Jacques Cousteau's grandson and by Jane Goodall. So take this marble, hold it in front of you, and look at it. Imagine that this is what the Earth looks like from hundreds of thousands of miles away. A small, blue, fragile, watery dot. See the light through it. Can you see how it resembles being underwater? If this were seawater, it would contain trace amounts of virtually every element. Millions of organisms, plankton, larvae, single-celled creatures in one teaspoon. Now, think of someone you're grateful for. Maybe someone who loves water, but truthfully, anyone. When was the last time you told them you are grateful for them? Take this marble with you and give it to them the next time you see them. If the person has died, throw it into a body of water that speaks to you. If you do give it to a person, tell them the significance of this marble. The blue marble, earth, and the water. Encourage them to do the same and then pass it along to someone they are grateful for. To date, as I said, many people, surprising people, have done this, and millions of people are doing this. And imagine if we all remember and know that we are the water in the waves. May we always remember that we are made of water, surrounded by water, and sustained by water. May we honor its life-giving and healing powers for our body, mind, and spirit. And may we do our part in loving and protecting water so that all sentient beings can also be sustained and inspired by its powers. Amen. Let's rise in body or spirit and join in our closing hymn, number 168, One More Step or Sip. Please remain standing and join in our unison benediction as Stephen Wolf extinguishes the chalice. Again, the words are in your order of service. May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us now and always. Again, I want to invite everyone to come downstairs to speak with our guests, to make a contribution to the walk, to support our youth by buying some of their baked goods, and look for the email about the auction, and we'll have the worship survey in there because I've been told it wasn't in the order of service. But let's just take a moment, and I invite you to put your hands on your heart. Put your hands on your heart and remember that indeed we are all one. We are made of the same atoms, of the same stardust. We are connected through invisible threads and visible connections. My friends, as we go from this space, may the water in your life, in your heart, in your body, and in your mind, may the tears that flow be filled with healing. May the tears that come with laughter bring healing as well. May we touch the holy waters of this earth and know that we are blessed indeed. Go in peace, my friends. Return again in great joy. Amen and blessed be.
Yeah. I'll put it. Is it in an envelope? something on there like what it's for? Church. Well, just write